here in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The African Union Summit is underway, the 21st African Union Summit. And by the way, the African Union was established in 1963 on the 25th of May. So today we can authoritatively say it is Africa at 50. And quite a number of issues up for discussion. And the Kenyan agenda will definitely be high during the summit. And President Uhuru Kenyatta is expected here later this afternoon, together with a delegation that comprises, among others, Senators Gideon Towet Moi, the senator for Baringo, as well as Kipchumba Murkomen, the senator for Elgeyo Marakwet, among other members of the Kenyan delegation. Ambassador Amina Mohamed, the Foreign Affairs Minister, or the Cabinet Secretary, if you may like, is already here. She arrived a little earlier to attend the Council of Ministers Summit, and she continues to represent the Kenyan agenda here, together with the Kenyan Permanent Representative to the African Union, Dr. Monica Juma, who is also the Kenyan ambassador right here in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And so what will be the Kenyan agenda during the African Union Summit? Well, Uganda and Southern Sudan have already moved a motion seeking that the African Union clearly states its position on the International Criminal Court, ICC. Remember, 3 Kenyans are facing crimes against humanity charges at the ICC, and they include President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto, as well as radio journalist Joshua Arap Sang. And so the African nations want the African Union to clearly state its position on the ICC, or else they will move out of the ICC en masse, or rather they will pull out of the Rome Statute. Remember, the Rome Statute is the one that establishes the International Criminal Court. So we wait to see how far that agenda will go through, or whether it will go through or not, rather. A debate on the ICC agenda will be deliberated on this evening, and so we wait to see whether the African Union Council of Ministers will adopt that motion or not. And of course, the Kenyan government is also pushing for the inclusion of the Somalia issue top on the agenda during the African Union Summit. Remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy have in the last few days met African leaders to lobby them to insist that there must be a specific timeline for the repatriation of the Somali refugees. Remember, Kenya bears the brunt of the financial burden of bearing the Somali refugees, about 1 million of them, and about 600 of them are located at the Dadaab refugee camp, the largest in the country, and the other 400,000 or thereabout are located all over the country. And so Kenya wants a specific timeline and also resources for the repatriation of the Somali refugees. And of course, the whole question of the sudden interest by the Western nations to be key players in the stabilization of Somalia. President Kenyatta and his deputy insisting that the African nations, the region, must play a key role, or must drive the agenda of stabilizing Somalia. If not, then it will be deemed as if the Western nations are more interested in the resources that include oil and gas that have recently been discovered in Somalia, as a reason why they want to be the key drivers of the stabilization process in Somalia. So that's all for now, Kirigo. We'll keep an eye on the issues that will be coming up for discussion today, tomorrow, and even in the course of the African Union Summit right here in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So for now, Africa at 50. Back to you, Nairobi.